Why does family technology so often create another feed, another inbox, and another thing for a parent to maintain? That question matters because parents do not need more engagement for its own sake. They need fewer drop details, faster coordination, and confidence that another person can step in. In this episode, we are going to slow the problem down and look at what is actually happening underneath it. We will cover why Houseloop was built, the household problem behind this topic, a practical demonstration, the current onboarding and pricing, mistakes made while designing the product, what real App Store reviewers have said, and where this part of the roadmap could go next. This is not a promise that an app can solve every family disagreement. It cannot. The useful promise is narrower and more honest. Use technology to reduce cognitive overhead rather than demand more attention. When responsibility is clear and follow-through is visible, families have fewer reasons to guess, chase, and blame. Stay to the end because I will also give you a 5-step system you can use even if you do not download anything today. Houseloop began with a simple, exhausting observation. In many homes, one person quietly holds the entire mental load. They remember the dentist, the permission slip, the refill, the birthday gift, the school email, the grocery item that is almost gone, and the appointment that needs rescheduling. They do not necessarily want to be the household manager. They carry the role because experience has taught them that if they stop remembering, something important may drop. A baby wakes, an older child needs a form, groceries are low, and a pediatric appointment changes. The useful tool is the one that captures context before the thought disappears. The visible action is only one part of the work. Before anyone acts, somebody notices. Somebody decides when it matters. Somebody identifies the person who can handle it. Somebody keeps the detail alive until it is finished. If delegation still requires explaining, reminding, monitoring, and rescuing, the responsibility has not truly moved. Houseloop exists to make follow-through shared, visible, and calm. The design goal is not to turn a family into a company or add productivity ceremony. It is to let one sentence become a real handoff with enough context, ownership, and status that the original person can stop carrying it. Here is the core problem in this episode. Parents do not need more engagement for its own sake. They need fewer drop details, faster coordination, and confidence that another person can step in. Most family conflict begins after an information gap has already formed. One person knows the hidden deadline. Another sees only the visible chore. One person believes a request included ownership of the result. The other hears a suggestion or a favor. Then a missed outcome gets interpreted as a personal quality. Words like lazy, controlling, careless, or demanding enter a situation that may have started with no shared definition at all. Why does family technology so often create another feed, another inbox, and another thing for a parent to maintain? The answer is rarely a single number. Families need to distinguish helping from owning. Helping is completing a step when asked. Owning means noticing the outcome, protecting the deadline, asking for missing information, and communicating when the plan changes. That distinction is especially important when work schedules, childcare, health, school, or elder care shift capacity from day to day. A useful household system should make the agreement visible without becoming surveillance. It should show what is assigned and what is done, while leaving room for conversation, kindness, and exceptions. The goal is not perfect control. It is fewer preventable misunderstandings. A baby wakes, an older child needs a form, groceries are low, and a pediatric appointment changes. The useful tool is the one that captures context before the thought disappears. Picture the moment from both sides. The person who remembered the task may have been carrying it for days, rehearsing when to mention it, and worrying that another reminder will create tension. The person expected to act may be hearing the urgency for the first time while already managing other work. Both people can be sincere. Both can feel unfairly judged. And both can leave the conversation thinking the other does not understand. This is why the product focuses on the loop rather than the argument. A loop has a beginning, an owner, a time, context, and a finish. If any of those are missing, the household has to reconstruct them through repeated conversation. That repetition is costly. It interrupts attention, creates resentment, and trains one person to keep a private backup plan in case the handoff fails. A better system moves the shared facts out of memory. It cannot supply empathy, but it can stop requiring empathy to compensate for missing information every single time. Once the facts are calm and visible, the human conversation has a better chance of staying human. Apps that reward streaks or constant checking can turn family life into performance instead of support. This is an important distinction because families often respond to coordination pain by adding another list. The list may be beautiful, color-coded, and shared, but a shared list can still have one invisible administrator. That person creates the items, adds the dates, reminds everyone to open the app, and notices when the information is stale. The tool has digitized the work without redistributing it. Another common fix is a group chat. Chats are excellent for conversation and terrible as a durable operating system. Important requests disappear between reactions, photos, school messages, and unrelated plans. A calendar helps with time, but it does not always show responsibility or completion. Apps that reward streaks or constant checking can turn family life into performance instead of support. The practical standard should be simple. After a task is handed off, can the original person safely stop remembering it? If the answer is no, then the system has captured communication without transferring ownership. Houseloop is designed around that test. Every adjacent feature should earn its place by reducing a step in the notice, assign, remember, and follow-up cycle. Now, let us walk through the product. The feature focus here is baby tracking beside family reminders, routines, groceries, meal planning, and handoffs. A partner can see the latest feed or nap, pick up a household task, and understand the plan without asking one person to reconstruct the day. Start on today and capture the thing in the fastest form available. You can type a sentence, speak it, or use a screenshot or photo when the visual context matters. Keep the task phrased as an outcome. Instead of writing pharmacy, write pick up Maya's prescription before 6. Choose one owner. Add the real due time and an earlier reminder if action needs a lead time. Attach the school form, grocery photo, address, or a reference image when that prevents another question. When you hand the task off, the recipient sees the specific request. The timeline can show that it was sent, viewed, accepted, and handled. Proof photos can be used when the picture matters more than a text update. The original person does not need to manually pull for status. For this episode, the central product behavior is a partner can see the latest feed or nap, pick up a household task, and understand the plan without asking one person to reconstruct the day. The app is not trying to maximize time inside the product. A successful loop should help the family spend less time coordinating the app and more time trusting the agreement. The current onboarding teaches 3 ideas before asking a family to configure everything. First, stop being the only one who remembers. Second, hand things off and see when they get done. Third, keep reminders, routines, family planning, and the baby tracker together. Then the household owner sets up a simple profile and household. The most important onboarding advice is not to import your whole life. Pick one real item that already has emotional or practical weight. Send it to one person. Make the request clear. Let them accept it and close it. That first completed loop teaches more than a long feature tour. After that, add one recurring routine, one shared planning moment, or one reminder that normally lives in a person's head. For technology for overwhelmed parents, the first setup should demonstrate use technology to reduce cognitive overhead rather than demand more attention. Family members can be invited by phone, email, a shared link, or a household code, depending on the experience available to them. One subscription covers the household, so the goal is coordinated participation, not multiple individual purchases. Here is the 5-step system. 1. Capture quickly. 2. Share context. 3. Avoid duplicate asking for. Use gentle alerts. 5. Protect private family data first, capture quickly. Make the request concrete enough that two people would picture the same finish line. Second, share context. Avoid assigning a task to everyone because everyone often means nobody. Third, avoid duplicate asking. Put the information next to the work instead of keeping a second version in your memory. Fourth, use gentle alerts. If the plan changes, update the task rather than beginning a separate argument about the old plan. Fifth, protect private family data. Use a short weekly review to improve the system, not to prosecute the person. Ask what information was missing, whether capacity changed, and which reminder arrived too late. Applied to this topic, those steps support one outcome. Use technology to reduce cognitive overhead rather than demand more attention. You can use this framework with paper, a calendar, or a shared note. Houseloop's advantage is that the capture, owner, timing, context, and status stay connected in one loop. Let us talk about pricing directly. Houseloop Plus is currently presented at $7.99 per month or $69.99 per year. Eligible monthly and annual subscriptions can include a 3-day free trial. A limited first-year annual offer may be available at $39.99 with no trial, after which it renews at the standard annual price unless canceled. Store availability and eligibility can vary, so the purchase sheet on the device is the final source of truth. One plan covers the household. Invited family members do not each need to buy a separate subscription. Plus is designed around ongoing value. Unlimited handoffs and family members, routines, proof and reference photos, voice and screenshot capture, AI organization, planning, reminders, groceries, meals, and the connected family experience. The right question is not whether every household needs every feature. It is whether the system saves enough missed work, repeated reminders, duplicated errands, and coordination time to justify the plan. Renewal, cancellation, and restoration should remain visible and understandable through the App Store or Google Play account used for the purchase. Trying to make an app feel busy can undermine the promise. Houseloop should feel quieter as the household gets more coordinated. That lesson keeps returning because software teams naturally measure what is easy to count: screens shipped, tasks created, notifications delivered, and minutes of engagement. A family product needs a different standard. Did the thing get handled? Did the right person understand what they owned? Did the person who delegated it stop carrying a backup reminder? Did the app create calm or another surface to manage? Building across iPhone, iPad, Mac, Android, and the web also exposes a second lesson. The experience is only as strong as the weakest transition. Authentication, invitations, deep links, subscriptions, microphones, widgets, and native share sheets must work as one journey. Fixing one button without tracing the surrounding state can create loops or flashes somewhere else. The honest product approach is to test real clean install journeys, measure delay, remove duplicate navigation paths, and keep the core promise smaller than the marketing. Houseloop cannot make a family communicate perfectly. It can make the agreement clearer and the follow-through less dependent on one person's memory. Sabrinanila, in a 5-star App Store review titled Really Easy to Use, wrote, "I love all things organization, and I love how this keeps all the things in my head organized." Another reviewer, Johnson966, wrote, "I have used a lot of family follow-through apps over the years, but nothing beat this particular app. The best out there." Those are real App Store review statements, and they matter because they point to 4 different jobs. One user values help for a busy mind. Another notices the calendar and organization options. Another values ease of use. Another compares the app with other family follow-through tools. A responsible testimonial segment should stop there. These reviews do not prove that every family will have the same result, and they should not be expanded into stories the reviewers did not tell. What they can do is guide product decisions. AI should remain useful rather than decorative. Calendar options should reduce planning friction. Core actions should stay easy. And the product should keep closing the family loop instead of drifting into a generic collection of features. If you try Houseloop, the most useful feedback is specific. Tell us which handoff saved time, which screen was confusing, which reminder arrived at the wrong moment, and which part you would not miss if it disappeared. That kind of feedback improves the product faster than broad praise alone. For this area, the roadmap includes caregiver-friendly views, better shift handoffs, and calmer summaries instead of more notifications. These ideas are not valuable merely because they sound advanced. They should be judged by the same question as the current product. Do they reduce the amount of coordination one person must carry? The future direction is more proactive help without taking control away from the household. That means suggestions should be reviewable. Reminders should respect timing and quiet hours. Family data should not become advertising material, and every automated decision should be easy to change. Use technology to reduce cognitive overhead rather than demand more attention. If that is the problem you are trying to solve, download Houseloop on the App Store or visit houseloop.app. Start with one real task, one owner, and one finish line. Then come back after a week and ask whether the responsibility truly left your head. If this episode helped you name something your household has been feeling, share it with the person you plan with, subscribe for the rest of the Houseloop series, and leave a comment with the next family system you want us to examine. Less did you remember? More follow-through.